Welcome to our weekly 3-minute therapy podcast. I'm Dr. Michael Edelstein, clinical psychologist, and I'm here with my co-host, Nick Berry.
Hi there. So we cover rational motive behavior therapy, which was formulated by Albert Ellis. He began to develop this in the early 1950s. It was originally called rational therapy. Then he expanded it to rational motive therapy and then rational motive behavior therapy. And the idea behind it is that our feelings don't just arise out of nowhere. Our feelings and our thoughts are connected, and the way we think determines how we feel about something. And because of that, we can create feelings which are self-helping or self-defeating. Human beings have a tendency towards self-defeating thinking, and Albert Ellis recognized this and zeroed in on what is it about the self-defeating thinking that is common and what can be changed. And he determined that when we are having self-defeating thoughts, there is a demand there. We are demanding that the world or ourselves or other people be a certain way, which manifests in the language of should, ought, have to, must. And REBT works at changing these demanding thoughts into accepting thoughts so that we are helping ourselves rather than defeating ourselves.
Yeah, very good. And also, the way to change our demanding thoughts into accepting thoughts is by using the empirical method, questioning, challenging your musts and your demands and looking for evidence for them. And if you look scientifically, you'll see there's no evidence for musts. Nothing has to go your way. No people have to treat you well. And conditions of your life doesn't have to go well. Mick, did you want to say something there?
Conditions of your life don't have to go well. I think you said conditions of your life doesn't have to go well. Just correcting your grammar there.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Proving we're all fallible human beings.
Yeah. One day you'll make a mistake.
I may just have for all of it.
Okay. So today we're going to be discussing REBT, rational emotive behavior therapy, and superstition. So let's start with the definition of superstition. So a superstition is a belief in something that's supernatural or magical causality. In other words, it's not based on science or empirics. And some examples of superstitious behavior and thinking is knocking on wood will give you good luck, or in baseball and maybe in other sports, there's a belief that if you have a good game, then if you wear the same underwear you wore in the last game, then that'll bring you good luck. Or if the pitcher, after 5 is pitching a no-hitter, then don't speak to the pitcher in the dugout between innings because that will somehow interfere with the no-hitter. So those are some examples. Mick, can you think of other examples?
Yeah, walking under a ladder gives you bad luck. Seeing a black cat gives you bad luck. Breaking a mirror gives you bad luck. It's amazing how it seems to me most superstitions have to do with bad things happening, but I could be wrong. There are probably a lot of superstitions that have to do with good things happening. And I wanted to say that it seems to me that all these superstitions, funnily enough, are based in occurrences in the real world when there is nothing to indicate whatsoever that walking under a ladder is bad luck. It might be a bad idea to walk under a ladder if somebody's painting. You could kick the bucket and spill the paint on you, but that wouldn't have to do with a superstition. That would just be prudent. Don't walk under a ladder. It's not quite as bad as walking into oncoming traffic, but it's still not a good idea to walk under a ladder.
Right, yes. So a question arises, what causes superstitious behavior? And we can get back to these demands, the musts and shoulds we talked about that tends to lead to superstitious behavior. For example, I must control the outcomes. So if I don't break a mirror, then I'll be in control. I won't have bad luck. Or if I wear the same underwear as I wore yesterday when I played a great game, then I'll avoid bad luck. I'll control the outcomes. Mick?
Well, tell me if you think this is correct, but I think when it comes to superstitions, there is maybe all the time or most of the time a must underneath it, such as I must pitch this perfect game, or he must not have any mistake happen and blow this perfect game, so leave him alone. Now, maybe that's going a bit too far to say that there is a must connected with superstitions. What do you think?
I think in many cases there is. Could be a preference, but could very well be a must. And some of those musts might be, I must have a guarantee good things will happen and bad things won't happen to me. I must not have uncertainty about the outcome, about the future. So if I do these things, that'll give me certainty about the outcome. And also, I must not feel uncomfortable. So if I do these superstitious behaviors, then I'll have comfort, not discomfort. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to say, it seems to me with REBT that all irrational thoughts, as we know, are unrealistic. So there may be some, tell me what you think of this, there may be some superstition in people having irrational thoughts. If I believe this will work out my way, then my magical thinking will make it work out my way. So even that would be superstition. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's right. That must imply you control the universe and you control what's going to happen. And obviously that's just a superstition. You don't. So we could say that all musts and shoulds are superstitions in addition to demands and irrational. So what can you do about having these superstitions? One of the things you can do behaviorally is to contradict them. So purposely walk under a ladder, or purposely break a mirror, or purposely knock 2 times, not 3 times, to smash that idea that knocking 3 times gives you bad luck. So those are some things you can do. Yeah.
Well, I would say probably don't walk under a ladder or don't break a mirror because those are actual bad things that happen. I don't think anybody wants a mirror broken, but knocking 3 times would be innocuous. And
Yeah.
you're walking under a ladder, you could have paint spilled on you. But whatever else it might be, repeating some slogan 5 times before you kick the ball to the other team, I do think that superstition holds us up and contributes to our self-defeating behavior because we reinforce this idea that I must have it go my way, and we are preoccupied with this must go my way rather than giving ourselves the latitude to think about what can I do so that this will go my way.
Yeah. And also, you make a good point about walking under a ladder. Don't walk under a ladder if at the top of the ladder is a painter with a can of paint, painting something. But if none of those exist, it's just a ladder, unoccupied ladder, then that probably would be okay. You could also buy a black cat and have a black cat cross your path many, many times, Mick.
Yeah. And I was going to say, when I think of superstition, one of the big inspirations I have towards getting rid of superstition comes from a very famous, very wonderful, successful American songwriter who happens to not even be able to see, which is ironic because he could be seen as a seer in this instance. And I think the Oracle at Delphi was also blind, and that was one of the points. You don't have to be able to see in order to be wise. And do you know who I'm referring to, Michael?
Stevie Wonder.
Yes, he wrote a song entitled, what was the title?
I don't know the title. No.
Superstition.
Uh-huh.
And the conclusion of the chorus is, when you believe in things that you don't understand, then you suffer. Superstition ain't the way.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Next time you'll recite the lyrics and accompany yourself on the drums.
Well, or piano maybe. Now he doesn't tell you how to stop being superstitious, but he does at least take the first step to cite that superstition ain't the way, in spite of it creating a really fabulous song. I remember it took the airwaves by storm back in about 1971.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Great, great. Yeah. Okay, any last things you want to say about superstition and rationality, Mick, before we conclude?
Well, I think there are, but I can't think of any right now. It's important for us. The wonderful thing about REBT is you can do it anywhere. You could do it while you're doing other things, such as driving a car or walking down the street. I wouldn't say necessarily you could do it while you're preoccupied in talking with somebody else, but when you have the capacity to think, you can employ REBT by finding the should and getting rid of the should, or even not creating a should in the first place. In other words, if I'm driving a car, I can think to myself, it's best if I pay attention, because there is the possibility that I could get into an accident. And so I want to be aware of that and not think that I must not get into an accident, but that getting into an accident is a reality, and I had best pay attention to things and look around and signal when I'm turning and be careful of other drivers so that I don't get into an accident, and so that my outcome that I prefer is based upon my adroit execution rather than relying on luck, or in the case of superstition, bad luck.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, very good. I think that that was very informative. And I'd like to thank Chris Rossini, our tech engineer, for helping us out on the technical side. And I'd also like to thank the viewer who suggested we discuss superstition. So if you have a suggestion for us that you'd like us to address or discuss, or even if you'd like to come on and discuss it with us, let us know. And give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this or got something out of it. Suggest subjects for the future. And to do what for good luck, Mick?
To do what for good luck? I would say luck doesn't have a thing to do with it. To stay on the rational side of life and create your own rationality rather than relying on luck, bad luck, or superstition. We create how we feel. We can determine how well we feel, how mentally healthy we are.